Yes.
I'm sorry, but
No, that's not a bad thing. I'm trying to say that you landed just now, a few hours ago, and when the bumper was playing, you were coming in the studio. That's how it was busy. That's how you want to be part of this. And that's a beautiful job.
Definitely.
How was the flight?
Thank you. My flight was very long. I had a bit of a turbulence, but I'm glad I made it home back. So
all right.
I was safe,
I understand you used the 2 different flights. Noras, how was the day? How was the flight? How was everything? Just going there. Let's start with the experience. Going there and be part of the experience.
Nguvusele Fabrice, nguvusele nebabukeli futhi ekhaya. Experience was amazing. I think it was my first time flying internationally. First time flying alone internationally, I think, because it was an amazing thing. Plane wise, it was incredible. My connection base at Dubai, first time in Dubai, first time in Paris. Okay. So we experienced very amazing.
All right, so we talk about, of course, what it means for the federation, what it means for the sport and everything. The two of you were there as referees. You were in this outfit. I think that's why maybe the camera is still on you. You were in this specific outfit.
Yes.
Okay, even though Makong, I think on his way, he decided to put on a Baonesaurus t-shirt. But this is the venue, one of the venues, quite beautiful.
Yes.
Let's talk about in terms of professionalism. What are you telling the referees there? That's you in the far corner of the screen, in the middle of the screen. What are you telling them? What is your job there?
My job right now, I had already started the game. I think it was right after a warm up, and I had just come from my assistant. Says Kulumile na assistant could see, okay, when I ubuga which side, meaning ubuga which side, ubuga ema edge ball, meaning when ubuga ema flat service or whatever, and then we start the game, and it's high paced. Fabrice, go very very high paced lapa. We learned a lot, but obviously it was a beautiful experience.
All right. We also, hopefully, and I know we will get a chance to see also Makongo's pictures there. Makongo,
he's right behind me, actually.
He's right behind you. He's officiating on the other side.
Yes.
Makongo, I know you've officiated locally when it comes to this sport.
Yes, sir.
And when you look at where these guys, I mean, there were different clubs from different countries. Yes, I understand in Africa there's those Mali, Tunisia, and other countries, but we talk about your Italy, your France, your Turkey, other nations.
Yes.
How serious do they take this sport? It should be you talking to these two lads there in the corner.
Yes, definitely. That's me right now.
Yes.
I was about to ref a match right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was between Hungary, if I'm not mistaken, and Brazil, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Okay.
So it is a very high-paced game. I don't wanna lie. We still have a long way to go in the country. I don't wanna lie. It's honest. We still have a long way to go. But for the officiating part, we're not far apart from them, because we definitely know how to point out the rules.
True.
And especially in how can I put this? Like accommodate ourselves and not be overwhelmed by the moment. We definitely need to work together and to accomplish a lot of things when it comes to officiating the sport.
That's you in the center, just right behind that player. I want to touch also on the issue of you being there as you were the only country in the SADC region that was there.
Yes, definitely.
And one thing I also want to touch on, because you, Nogas, you didn't go just not as a referee, but you also hold another position under the Tekpro Federation of Development Officer.
Yes.
Did you maybe get few skills or few stages that we need to go through to develop the sport?
Yes, most definitely. There was like I had said before, Fabrice, there's a lot of things that they accommodated us, like he said. They taught us, they were willing to teach us things that we didn't know. The Gune application that referees use, we were so not used to it. By sebenzisa kakhulu in the European countries, but so we had to learn that as fast as we possibly could. In the sports development side, there's a million things that I learned, and I'm hoping I can actually apply them go federation.
All right, beautiful stuff. Now, I like on how, wow, that's a beautiful show. Now, I like on how we're seeing you in the middle of the screen there. I would love the picture to be back. But just right behind you, Magongo is there, is officiating in another game. So I want to make sure that the viewers get where it's written, Tekbo, where it's serious. There's a white shirt there. That's Magongo, and then that's you. Now, let's talk about how pressured you were. Maybe were you pressured to say, wow, this is big. How are you going to deal with this? And in terms of language barrier, how were you able to communicate? I mean, they speak French, that I know, but there were countries where you find that also the athletes or the players also don't speak French. So, Magongo, how did you deal with that? Maybe to start with you.
Thank you. In my first match, I don't want to lie to you. It was very high pressured. I was overwhelmed by the moments because it was my first World Series. It was my first World Series ever. Yes. But as I got to the second match, or maybe the second set rather, I managed to calm down and got in the groove with the game, and as you can see right now, I'm even smiling with the players. So it was a very good moment.
I mean, they respect you. If you can end the game if you want. You can disqualify them.
Definitely,
you had that power.
Definitely. So in terms of the language barrier, especially with the Mali players, they don't speak English. They don't speak English at all, so it was very hard for us. But when it comes to sign language is also a language on its own. So you tell them this is not allowed in whatever way you can. So I think it was a very learning curve for all of us, not just the officiating, but also the players as well. Because the fact that they're also playing at a high pace and a very prestigious tournaments, it doesn't mean they know everything. They still need to learn from all of us. We learn a lot from them. So it was a good environmental space for us.
All right, beautiful stuff. And just to remind the viewer, wherever you are, these two top Tekbo referees were in Paris over the weekend for the World Series for the year 2022. This is something big because if I can tell you, just in terms of refereeing, we've never had so many chances of having international, attendance for our referees. Only 2 referees. That's why my memory serves me now. Today, only 2 female referees have gone to officiate international in different sporting courts. There's you, and in football, there's another lady. I will tell you before we leave the show. Now, let's talk about also, before we leave, let's talk about now, the journey doesn't end here. There's a lot that you've seen.
Definitely.
You want to capacitate yourself. I know there are information on the website of the federation. Now, where do you want to take now this profession as a Tekbo referee? I know you hold another position, but now where do you want to take this after that experience?
After this experience, it can only go higher from here, Fabrice. I think we've had this conversation before. You've asked me this question. Where do I see myself refereeing? World Series, World Cup. What I learned the previous weekend was amazing. I'm looking forward to learning a few more things, because there are a lot of things that I still need to learn. So I'm looking forward to learning more things, refereeing more World Cup series. So, yeah.
The other lady that I want to tell you, her name is Letitia Vienna. She's a football referee. So you're the second women ref in all sporting courts in the country to be out. Mr. Magongo, it's a big achievement. Now let's talk about how you ended up deciding to, on the flight, I'm going to put on Mbabane Soros. I didn't know that you support Mbabane Soros, but where do you think you can go with this refereeing? Because I think you're one of the best. The association trusted you with this, job. Yeah.
For me, like I said, my highlights, one of my highlights in 2022, it was being in the first ever World Series. Number 2, it is my sister here got to see her refereeing in one of the best tournaments in the world. To also get to see more women playing and officiating in the sport. It was a very big highlight for me. I enjoyed seeing that. But as for me, I would like. I didn't know. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a manager also.
Wow.
I have a team. As well.
Okay.
So I try.
Tech ball team.
Yes, tech ball team.
Beautiful.
A
Wow.
tech ball team. So when we talk about growing in this sport, I want to take it as high as I can.
All right.
Like teach younger kids, women, in how to play the sport. Anybody who wants to play it or join my team, you can come through. And
Mention
yes,
the
I
word
said it live
women
on TV.
many
Yes,
times.
please. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Makongo
Yes.
in the biggest city in the world, the most romantic city. Now,
Yes.
let's talk about off record. What did you get up to when you were in Paris? I mean, how's the lifestyle? How's the food? I mean, when you talk about wines, they're the best country. They're one of the best countries in the world to produce beautiful wine. Did you,
Can
I
you,
mean,
can
did
you
get a
go
bit of-
first on that one? Can you go first on that one?
I'll take it on the food. We had this conversation off camera. I don't remember what you called the bread.
Pain français. It's the French bread.
Right.
Pain
Pain
français.
français, yes, the French bread.
Yes, the French hard bread.
Hot bread, yes.
Yes.
So you had that one.
Yeah, I had that, and I think mostly for me it was the culture shock of we're so used to having breakfast in a good see breakfast yet from matanza, bacon, a cereal, toast or whatever. Lena, the French, they just eat cereal, yogurt and fruits. That's their breakfast.
All right.
Would there anything else?
All right. Ngitagwe Magongo, but before we go, Nogas, this weekend there's something happening. Quickly before we leave, there's
Yes.
something that you're having as a federation.
Yes, something that we have at the end of every single month this year. It's our club tour league series. This is the third round, if I'm not mistaken, March 26th, this Saturday. We're having it at Mavuso with our clubs. It's a mixed doubles and doubles a tournament this weekend.
And you won't be officiating. I mean, you're from France.
I'm going to be officiating.
No, see,
The work
they should
doesn't
feel
stop.
The experience.
The work doesn't stop because I went to France. No, I'm going to be officiating on Saturday.
Makongo, it was a beautiful moment
Thank
here
you
in the
for-
studio. But how was
thank
France,
you.
man? You didn't tell me
Thank
off
you.
record how things were, apart from the job that you went for.
Our France was very great for me, I don't wanna lie. She left first than me. I wouldn't tell the story on why she left first.
Yeah.
But France is a great country. I learned a lot of things, the food, the culture, the people.
The Eiffel Tower.
You know,
Wow.
especially the people. I've never met people so nice and so genuine in the world. But I guess I'm still yet to go through the horizons in this world. So
All right, beautiful stuff. Thank you very much, guys. And I think we'll keep up and we'll keep in touch this weekend just to find out how the series will be going and just share the experience, especially. I think you can be so motivational to the young ladies who
Yes.
also want to achieve. And at Magong, I think also launching or rather, starting a team is one of the biggest I think to also work on. Thank you for being here, and we appreciate the job you're doing, not only for the club, but for the Kingdom of Eswatini. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the two referees. They were out there in France, in the capital city of France, in Paris, where they were representing the country, the region, the continent, and the entire world at the World Series. It was a beautiful experience. Let's keep working hard. It cannot only be a Techball Federation. Other sporting courts have a duty to also send different representatives in such competition. A short break because our in-house Ndadlamini is already here also to tell us where he could be going in the next few weeks. After the
Pay your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007*3# and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you'll receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Still with you, of course, here on Temidlalo, Eswatini TV, one of your biggest sporting show here in the kingdom, to tell you about what you missed over the weekend, what you're supposed to have seen, and what you should expect in the upcoming weekend. He's in the house. Linda Dlamini, nguvusele Nkosi.
Ngiyavusela Fabrice Msonera, the legend isibalwami. Ngikuthola lokhulu Fabrice ngivusela wena mali yeliview yasekhaya. Njoba usho ukuthi this is the biggest show because le show leni cover cishe onke ama sports. La abantu labangafiki khona sithina siyaveta onke ama sports.
Master, not to dwell so much on it, but just to touch. You are also a member of the federation. There's nothing wrong with that, and there's everything right about that. But let's talk about this achievement. I mean, we don't have anyone who's gone as far as France to represent us in sport. I mean, in an official big tournament, that as far as my memory reminds me. But these two lads, looking at their performance in the current series, how they were officiating to get a chance to go to Paris and show the world that Eswatini also can offer something. How big is that?
Fabrice, bengikhuluma with one of my colleagues lasebenzela kulabanye bemthombo betindzaba last week. And nasikhuluma ngithi mne guys, uyathi understand ukuthi how big is it ukuthi sinabo referee laba overseas laba judge ku World Series indoor series, and understand ukuthi kukhulu kanganani if mhlambe bekungilesinye sport mhlambe ngani fake ama headlines. So ngicabanga ukuthi letinto leto kancane kancane, and nawubuka ngalendlela ukuthi these referees bana less than a year ba judge official games because I Challenger Series be last year akaphela umnyaka ibanjiwe le Challenger Series. So ngicabanga ukuthi kunengilo lokwendekile and le association in a 2 years kulo 2 years lo wendekile kunengilo lokwendekile abo referee bahambile baya ku judge eFrance, and last year bekumele ukuthi khambe 2 athletes baya ku World Cup. So ngicabanga ukuthi there's a lot lokwendeka kahle ku association ka Techball.
All right, before we leave the topic, I've always wondered what the dress code mean, Master. Ngibuka lesithombe lesi, orange tie of course is the colors of the Nanzanani, but you have to be formal for the sake of the sport. I mean, they look good. And there's a bit of, they were light. I mean, but dark. They were light.
Yeah, Fabrice, outfit here, intole, white shirt, then na bow tie, na black pants, with black shoes. Outfit lewa into, lokumele ukuthi vele nangabe kune event noma kune tournament ya into, bonke labo referee bayifake lena kuza le October uniform lengicabanga ukuthi simeleleke kahle babonakala ukuthi bagcokiseke kahle njoba usho ukuthi bahle, and sinako ke thina emaswati lokuthi sibe bahle.
All right. He's the technical director of Eswatini Techball Federation. Linda Dlamini / sports reporter / sports presenter and analyst / coach. And you talk about sports, he's everything. Master, over the weekend there was a launch of different facility at Ngwenya Turnboat under the whole region. Master, we talk about development of sports. This is something longatsi ngwayibuka it's a small thing, but it's big. I mean, when you talk about a sport like table tennis, kwathiwa ukuthi kune facility yakhona, it's something big. Nangabe mina nayo sifuna kudla table tennis yathi ukuthi singathatha imoto sisila oshuku engwenya sithi siyadlala kancane. But let's talk about also the day itself, what it meant for the sports. Kuya kwakho, what did you notice? Wabona ini? What was your excitement?
Ngokucala Fabrice ngabonga yona lidolobha laseNgwenya because ngawulibuka leli dolobha liyadlodlobala. Ngibe nenhlanhla ukuthi nawukhuluma ngeNgwenya ngihlele eNgwenya about 5-6 years my early 90s.
True.
And lendlela lidevelopa ngayo leli dolobha ngicabanga ukuthi liyakhula kakhulu. Tonke letimvo tendeka utin ukhona la uyabona sekunetitolo uyabona kanzi vele iborder le busy. So ngicabanga ukuthi kuba ne facility yema sports because sports Fabrice is hosta ema biggest events every week. So ngicabanga ukuthi kube nale facility kuta developer kakhulu sport because youth eNgwenya iseyinengi kakhulu. Youth siyathi ukuthi ukuze utobabamba utokhona lokubabamba badlalise sport. So ngicabanga ukuthi for table tennis, for darts, for tech ball, for pool ukuthi sibe khona eNgwenya ngicabanga ukuthi leli dolobha nje lona kulibeka kulelinye lizinga.
Now, that was among the sports. As you can see, of course, they were trying their best. Pool involved. Lama sports lana masters ngasho ukuthi sake save bakhala ukuthi especially in terms of tinzawo. Abazange bakhala ngamatafula. But bakhala ukuthi kutinzawo longathi ukhululekile in terms of freedom ukuthi athini ngitiva ngifree. Fine itafula ngalitfola le tech ball. Fine ngatfola itafula le pool, ngayitfola iboard ye dart. But bebethe kahle kahle inzawo longathi recreational ukuthi ndawo uhamba noma nini anytime you can go and play. But this is one area.
Fabrice siyathi ukuthi angibekise nje ngibekise ngana ipool for a very long time bacaba ukuthi nawudlala ipool mhlambe idlalwa bamfu labanathako noma labantu awutholakala kuleto ndzawo leto but if enzaweni le kanje iyatholakala ipool ngicabanga ukuthi yinvo lenhle kukhokha ke lo mcondo la kulabantu ukuthi ipool ayidlalwa bamfu lolo hlobo lobantu uyabona kufana nama-darts bantu babelievela ukuthi i-dart idlalwa bamfu because lapha bathi nase kunjeyana bese ba-enjoy abadlalela but le ngcondvo leyo asayiphume uyabona iNgwenya town board ngicabanga ukuthi yenda lenvo leyo ithi labantu abasuke kuleti ndzawo labacabanga kabi babuye la badlale bona bavule tandla ngicabanga ukuthi the mayor yena Mr Gininza with his team benda umsebenzi omhle kakhulu. I'm very impressed because kufana nama-darts nje ama-darts siyathi ukuthi i-darts utayikhanza correctional ikhanze bolozitha tincane letindzawo but nakutawungeteka letindzawo leti i-table tennis bakhala ke laba ka-table tennis last year siyakhumbula ukuthi bake bamiswa even affiliator ka-sports council ngendzaba ukuthi aba-comply but nyalo tonke letinvo leto bathambisa ngeluhla lakhona naku bane-facility nyalo but abanema-teams letawuhamba yodlala khona eNgwenya.
Beautiful stuff. Shortly we hear from the management of the town board, Ngwenya town board, and some of the representative of the sports association. But message master lesingasho ukuthi Ngwenya town board has given to other town boards. Angisho ukuthi kusasa ngiyabhekisa amatsapa town board naye akasukumise ukuthi no swimming sesine facility. But this is one way nasithi can stakeholders assist ma sporting courts. Sisho lokho. Not every day. Not to say ukuthi abayidingi support financially, but this is one way we can say, because when we talk about a town board, anyone can walk in any time, extending a 6, 7, and something, as long as you want to play. Fabrice, this is a message to other stakeholders.
Fabrice, ngiyangithi mina bamfu bayadincisha indlela ekumarket. Because if angibekise nje kunenkampani lengiFabrice Msonera, uyahamba uyastake uyokwakha a sports facility. Then ukhuluma nale town board yakhona uthi ngicela the naming rights because ndawufaka mina konke ndaweni konke kube iFabrice Msonera Sports Facility yabona yasestake kulula kanganani lokho uyathi ukuthi for years and years and years kuyabe solo kunale legacy yakho. So ngicabanga ukuthi some companies atendela phasi ngemarketing because lenvo leyo sengibekise nje ngibekise ngestadium in South Africa there is FNB Stadium. because FNB okay labanye bathi soccer city but FNB so tonke letinvo leto letindeka kanjalo so ngicaba ukuthi nala ngakithi asebahambe labamvu labathi bona bafuna kummarketa ema products abo bake bahlale phansi baqhamuke ne master plan kamanzini kunamavuso asekuthole just a smallanyana sports facility stake inhlangano onke lamadolobha so labamvu kungatoswelakala letindzawo tekudlala kuthi nangabe ufuna ukudlala i-techball stake uswele ukuthi utayidlala kuphi table tennis uswele ukuthi utayidlala kuphi but nyalo engwenya ngicaba ukuthi ingwenya yende involved enhle kakhulu because ingwenya njengoba ngisho ukuthi one of ema border gates la busy Oshoek so bonke labamvu labathi nabendlula noma nabafuna kulala because sekunema guest house futhi sekunenzawo tekudla bathi sifuna phumula thina sihambe sitravel indlela lenze kakhulu singalula apha emamasela singahamba apha siyodlala uyabona stophothisa umcondo ikhona ingwenya la sports facility.
I mean this is an open topic, Master, because what Ngwenya Town Board has done now, it leaves me no choice but to touch on some things before we listen to the interviews, because Nangbuga, Master, some of the sporting courts yati ukuthi bola vele bokaf na FIFA speke eceleni kwanyaro. But Nangbuga, in all sporting codes, there's two sporting codes that they are trying their best. There is tennis, inenzawo na ungabe ufuna kubamba imidlalo maybe for the region ungayisebenzisa i-tennis center yalobamba. There's basketball, but the only problem with basketball, how big is the venue to accommodate a competition like regional championship, just mavuso on its own, basketball, or you need another area. So that's what this is why I'm getting. But when you talk about other sporting codes, Begakara the other day, him and Jerry for swimming, they have to use Ineswa, Sifunzani, and Jabulo. These are swimming pools for other places. Athletics, I want to talk about, because right now they don't have a track field, only Mavuso, but Nakona, we can't say it's theirs. Then we're left with no choice. You can't say there's a sporting cause with the facility, they pay it.
Fabrice, ngathi nangiva yena mayor waseNgwenya akhuluma ngale ground because ngale ground lebhola lathi uyabona le vision uthi bafisa ukuthi le ground balithuthukise in such a way lokuthi li host ema games aka Premier League even bigger games. So uyabona ukuthi labamvu bathina baplanele khashane bona bacabanga stadium uyabona la kungahosta khona ama games aka Premier League. So ngicabanga ukuthi if kungakhona ukuthi kwendeke kutaba nebamvu labatawukhona ukuthi indzawo yangakubo noma indzawo labasebenzela khona bayithuthukise kanganani ubala leti indzawo leti i-tennis nje i-tennis inendzawo yayo kalubamba la idlala khona. So ngicabanga ukuthi onke lawo ma sporting courts nawo kucinga ukuthi nawo ahamba ekulama because i-tennis nje i-building society ya-contribute lapha nje ukhanza libhodi elikhulu lase-building society. So ngicabanga ukuthi tonke letinvo leto kudzinga ukuthi njengoba ngishilo the associations including nawo lama stakeholders abo bahlale phasi bake baplane ahead kutothi nakufika bo 2030 2035 40 sibe sesikulelinye izinga manje kuma sports.
Now, not to cut short from Master's, comments on what the mayor of Ngwenya Town Body said on the day, let's listen to him and other stakeholders, including the association representative, what they had to say about the launch of the facilities at the Ngwenya Town Body over the weekend.
Qale ngikubonga nje Mavundla wakhasikhathi ngosijoyina nasi edorobheni elikhulu laseNgwenya. Lamuhla sito launcha imidlalo leyahlukahlukene ngekubambisana neSports Council evele. Sithide sibahlonishwa nasibuka intuthuko yaseNgwenya. Sathi asingasali emuva kube ne-inclusive development and growth. Lefake khathi sithi sibuka yona imigwaqo netakhiwo netekulima singashiyi ngaphandle timpilo tetakhamuti taseNgwenya. Ngako lamuhla sibite tonke takhamuti tethu sacela Sports Council nawo onke lama associations elatsinzekako lafake ekhathi kunabo table tennis kunema pool which is the Q sport ne tag ball nemilabalaba as you go around nje la epark yethu eNgwenya siwafake onke lama sports ngoba sisithe asibuki kuphela abadzala nebantwana siba accommodateile kula matafula around the park ukhanza ukuthi-ke usitoloja yona le midlalo lamhla nebahlonishwa. Umuntu nje angabonga kakhulu kubahlonishwa bakhona eNgwenya ukuthi kule mali lencane lekhona bakhona ukuthi bahlepule lapha nalapha bathi asibuke netimidlalo singashiyi ngemuva ngoba sikhuluma nje kuneli ground lekhona lapha sifuna ukulithuthukisa libe sesimeni kokuthi ungakhala sikudlala ama games aka Premier League kangwane. Sithi lamhlanje emafundla sitolonja yona imidlalo edolobheni elikhulu laseNgwenya.
Siyabonga mthothola lithuba msakade lapha eNgwenya sibekwa simenywe idolobha laseNgwenya ukuthi sithe lapha sitobuka ukuthi lo mdlalo singawudlalisa kanjani kuleli dolobha laseNgwenya. Lesikhanzile msakade sithole kunelitafula labalakhele kahle impela msakade. Siyabonga nje i-development labayendile kuma board games. Acisha khona onke lama board games lesiwabonile kanye-ke nale table tennis. Nyalo nje siyafundzisa kunebantwana kusho laba sibafundzisako nalabadzala bonke nje labafisile kufundza lo mdlalo. Sidabe seke sesiyabatshela ukuthi i-club bangayisungula kanjani msakade. Sitokwati kubafaka kule program yethu lesiyendako yaka development.
Sijabule kakhulu siba Q Sport kuba invited la kulo msebenzi wa Ngwenya Town Board ekuphakamiseni le takhiwo lama structures lama facilities ema games lehlukene la fire cards le Q Sport. Ipool isijabulile ukuthi ibe khona ukuthi bayicabange nje kokucala. Sijabulela ke ukuthi ngoba vele sisemkhankasweni wokuyipromoter le sport sethu. Sijabulela lokuthi sitawukhona lokwenaba ukuthi lapha kube nema players sitawuvakasha sivumelene sitawuvakasha sente sure ukuthi kuba ne team leba khona lepotodlala ku league kahoho and eventually kube nema teams kube nema players la qualify ukuthi ayodlala ku national team njengoba sesinayo national team nje futhi sidaphinde futhi sikhethela abanye ezekuchubeka. The standard of play sinale hope ukuthi sitawuthuthuka kakhulu as a result of le facility nekuthi ke ngalo kwakhe kwayo ayikho enzaweni lecwayako ukuthi nawumncane noma wesilisa noma wesifazane ngeke ukhona engena khona nabancane batawukhona kudlala ngoba indzawo le kahle lengekho ngasho indzaweni lekunathu ngasho njalo. Li-talent ake likhona siyabona likhona but bathi ngathi vele sibaside nge-coaching and training kuze sibaphakamise liphakame lezinga libe isigaba lesifunayo.
Our credits, of course, goes to the team that took a chance and go to the Ngwenya Town Board, the team that was headed by Mavundla. But I mean, before we close the topic, yabeva nje ebo pesizulu tennis table tennis bo muntu Dlamini. But by express ukuthi vele this is a big opportunity for them. Ikakhulu for pool, they are looking at numbers for the national team. Pesizulu nje bona bakhuluma nge development. This is a grassroots program for them.
Fabrice, I have a dream. Lapho khona kutaba ne sports center. Le sports center sibe hlale nje bamvana under 15 only. Lapho khona khuluma ngepool, khulume ngadarts, khulume ngeswimming, khulume ngetechball, khulume ngebhola, khulume about 8 or 9 or 10 in one center. Lapho khona labamvana bahlala full time badlala lemidlalo uyabona under 15 only. Khona kutothi after boma 3 years 4 years 5 years lapho khona sokhicita cream and labamvana labo awubathengiseli nje local overseas uyabona because baqeqeshiwe and labamvu labatabe bafundzisa labo laba sport teacher labatabe bafundzisa highly qualified uyabona. So if nangibona nje lapha eNgwenya kwendeka kanje cishe kuyasonzela kancane kunaku lenguphuphako la siya khona because sitagcina sifikile.
Now the key message of what Dlamini is saying before we leave is that he's looking to create a facility. Sengichazela baka YouTube because this program is on YouTube. So okay. YouTube is watched by everyone in the world. Yeah. Some translator in America. So Dlamini says one of his biggest dreams, even in
French,
yeah, it's to create or rather have a facility that you can put under 15 kids who are looking to grow. Now, I'm giving you 15 years. If I'm still in this industry, we would dig that interview. It will be still on YouTube and play for the viewers. And the host then, 15 years later,
Yeah, he was a big dreamer.
He was a big dreamer. Wow. There you have it. One of the biggest dream also is for Sihlangu Semnigati to qualify for the 2023 Ivory Coast AFCON. Master, I will take 2 minutes before we talk about the game. Gutsi Munyi, we can't get excited. It's our level. We have the same problem. Betty Stadium, City Stadium. But so there's nothing we can change. So should we get excited? Or to you now win?
Before Fabrice, Fabrice, I usually watch games about England, Italy. When England is playing Faroe Island, Babashabo 8, they celebrate. If Portugal Shabo Cyprus, they celebrate. So it's in a celebrating on. If Ustaushaya is Somalia 3-0 Somalia. Because Sekulmile on Monday, Kulpola Eswatini. These players, most of them, only 2 Badlala local. All of them Badlala outside the country. They have so many internationals. So a celebrating on the technical bench 100% Maswati. A celebrating on. Staumela in is a celebrate. Steppies.
Because Nale win can also improve my rankings.
Gakul, official game. That was an official game. So ngicabanga now ufuna gibela lati Fabrice. Uqala ngale steppies leslapha pass. For us to qualify for AFCON, bekudinga ukuthi sishaye Somalia. Second leg shay Somalia. Hambe kuma group stages. Whosoever lodibana naye mshaye noma ngabe Comoros noma ngabe Mauritania noma ngabe Cape Verde ishaye. Uyabona. So ngicabanga ukuthi for us noma as much as vele ba weak kunansi but bekumele ukuthi sibashaye. Sike sabona iDjibouti sayishaya about in 2015 sayishaya. Yabuya a year later yasishaya. So start sike thina asinga celebrate le tinvo leto. No. Asibanike any credit.
All right, the game was held at Jerusalem National Stadium, one of the biggest stadiums in the East African region, over 60,000 capacity. As much as supporters are not allowed, but it's one of the biggest stadiums. Master, we only called 2 international players. That is Boingos Manyovu Dlamini from Angola and Cape Town-based Justice Figueiredo to the game. The rest, they are brute in our MTN Premier League. To you, let's go to the game now. How did we start the first 15 minutes? Anything that you noted? The lineup itself, maybe while we're looking at the game, the lineup, were you happy with the starting lineup of Coach Dominic Kunene?
I was happy, Fabrice. Now ukuthi indlela le team. Okay, ngale starting 11. Mhlambe uyabona ukuthi ngale ma forwards Skali bekunguye number 9, then Manyovu, Oda, bese la ngemva kwabo kunabo Junior, Swiso Matse, Mzwandile Mabeleza, nala defense, kule defense mhlambe kude longanani le testwa kuko longasho khona ukuthi beba but I clean sheet including yena Sandanezo Matabela ngicabanga height Sandanezo iyamsebentela because but
this is the biggest occasion of the game, first 20
yes,
minutes.
Buka sikhala ukuthi uphume ukuphi uyaphuma because you understand ukuthi if ngiphumile ngiye wide angidlale le bhola ngifaka ekhathe boxing because the 2 wingers lokumanyovu na Oda basekhathe boxing wayifaka ibhola ngicabanga ukuthi iFabrice and Manyovu ngendlela la dlala ngayo the day yes he should have scored more goals nangasho kanjalo because ama chance wathola but lokuthola leli goal this is the biggest stage kudzinga national team futhi goal lisho lokukhulu kakhulu.
Let's analyze this goal once again because when we talked about the transition from where the ball, we start maybe from Skali, not being selfish, but the placing, look at him pressing
okay,
the ball.
Yes. Before the goal.
Yeah, when Skali had the ball.
Inakoza Fabrice, it's a ball. Because your number 9, we target.
True.
They know him, Gutsi, uyi top scorer ku league ngile ngihlale sithi thina once number 9 aba clever utawudzinga ema wingers na number 10 lotaba clever lata sinakaphuma yena then occupy wena le space because look at Siskali nanya le enhla le then about 4 players labangaphambili kwakhe
Look at
4 players
3 players in front of Manyov. They don't know where they are going. Which direction are they heading in? Because they knew the moment the winger gets that player, there should be a cross in the box. But no one is
but
monitoring
that young
him.
man from Young Buffaloes
Yes.
lo left back
Work.
yeah work ngicabanga ukuthi even him to overlap as afike kulesa sigaba lesa uyayibona bo trend Alexander Arnold ulodlalela eLiverpool bahamba bafike kulesa sigaba lesa and ngihlale ngithi ke Fabrice once waba closer to the goal line buyisa le bhola kancane la ku penalty spot ukwendile yena ngicabanga ukuthi asimnikeni credit and for Manyovu
It's just a touch.
just a touch
You know, sike sibona bokubo.
na lena nje bekumele ukuthi alcore leli.
Do you think he's improved since going to Angola? If you watch the game, Naumbuga Njanyar, has he improved being away, playing for, in playing in Angola?
The mentality improvile
The
kakhulu.
thinking.
Yes. No, the mentality lethi ngifuna kuwina. Uyabona? Invele kumele ukuthi improve enyalo, I decision making yakhe. When to shoot, uyabona? When to run with the ball. Tonke letinto letokudzinga ukuthi improve. Otherwise ngicabanga ukuthi so improvile mina.
All right. But singu Sterling wala Eswatini, fanele order mamba. Naumbuga kugijima kwakhe and the space and everything. But singu Sterling wala, how did he steal that moment from the keeper? I mean, when you look at where the ball came, his position, even is not even that tall, and the celebration. How did he steal that moment? You look at it that, but he's been consistent.
Yeah.
Pastor, now kulumanga national team.
Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi nawukhuluma nga-order ukhuluma ngemidlalo hard working player lo humble because you need ama-players la not full of himself uyabona speed uyasidzinga and kumabhola la kanje Fabrice because uyayibona nje le bhola iyabhampa the defender enter i-mistake then wena as a player you capitalize kuleyo mistake leyo ye defender because goalkeeper sophumela ansi goalkeeper ubona le mistake yale defender wena as a player be alert.
Do you think he robbed that ball on purpose, or just he was saying, "Let me just kick it up"? Then I'll
No, it
put
was
at
on
the back?
purpose.
It was on
It
purpose.
was on purpose, Fabrice. That's a good goal.
All right. Now, I'll also we'll touch on the third goal and everything, but part of the players also who rejoined the national team. Oh, is this a red card?
Bekumele kube red card le.
Was this a red card?
Bekumele kube red card. Straight red because open start.
Open start.
Yeah.
Did he get the ball? We get that. It can be an open start, but you touch the ball. The moment you get the ball, we've seen that in different leagues. Sometimes, if you are able to get the ball, then they don't consider it.
Fabrice,
The rule is the rule.
If that's when we've seen that in other leagues, we've seen inconsistency.
Wrong.
Gulamanye leagues.
Okay.
Yabon. This
Is a red card.
straight red.
So this captain is supposed to miss the
Early
next leg.
shower, Baba.
Early shower.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm shocked. Now, Junior Magagura was back in the national team. What did you think about his performance? They're still showing us this chance. Look at that. The contact.
A
No.
career-ending tackle. Career-ending tackle. From Etolweni. Esh. I would deserve a straight red. Straight red.
Do we need VAR?
Straight red.
So we need VAR. This
Straight
is straight
red.
red. All right.
And uthi intention uyabona Fabrice if mhlambe uyabonakala ukuthi bekayazama ukudlala ibhola.
This was intentionally.
Yeah. Straight red.
He was gunning for the play.
And it's the captain of the team. Lekumele I lead by example. If I thola nje le red card, deserve ukunika ama answers kule national team yaseSomalia.
All right. The frustration, of course, the game had to be delayed about, should I say, 1 minute, 45 seconds, 2 minutes. De Jong trying to come, to holding Scully. I don't know if he's
Some
speaking.
coaches are lucky. Some coaches are lucky.
This man is like.
He's lucky, very, very lucky. Kuthi ungatholela nje ufike uthole nje umsebenzi ucaphakile eAfrica. Eish.
Is maybe his nationality playing a role in getting a job? I mean, when you talk about Netherlands, we know some of the best Netherlands coach.
Yeah, those
Rich Card.
Those are plumbers. Those are plumbers. Those are plumbers. Fabrice, this guy bekangeke azayiwine le game lena kube kuthiwa bekunguye acoacha Sihlangu coacha iSomali bekangeke azayiwine. Wawina yinye game.
All right.
Onke ama-games lawa adlala wawina yinye. But back into the game.
All right. Was this a good change maybe from Coach Dominic Kunene bringing in Saviola and Justice Figueiredo for the second half? Because they changed the game. There was a bit of pressure going forward. There was a bit of movement. We saw that. And this is what, Figueiredo can bring to the game. One chance, of course, from this Somalian side. But the change, Saviola and Justice coming to the game.
And the introduction yakhe Justice Figueiredo because ufresh. And ufresh nje une-speed. Uyakhona ukuholda ibhola. Look at that. Ngilele bengikhuluma ngako kule pass yawakhe. Look at Figueiredo. Uthi thina sekafika ngale sabona ukuthi sengiconzene sengiyofika ngaku-goal line. Biyisa le bhola la ngemuva. Ngihlale ngithi ke mina yo number 10. Kumele ahlala kuleya position leya. Uyabona? Because le bhola nayitela ngemuva the defenders lasayele goalkeeper because besathi yona ayocover lipali layo. Wena biyisa le bhola la ngemuva yo number 10 ayishaye. Good goal from Yena. Look at that because about 4 of my defenders angene goalkeeper. Athi bona ayo protect alpalawo. Look at that. Saviola la ngemuva uyedwa. So ngicabanga ukuthi li goal lelihle leli. Dinvo leti as a team lotibona ukuthi cha cishe le team iyadrillwa.
Now, it's 3-0. This is a neutral ground, but for them it was home. We can't say really they were home, but they were home because we were far away. We had to leave actually the SADC region we've passed more than 3 countries or 4 countries to go play this game. This young man has a huge, beautiful career in the Sihlangu shirt.
Utambita as a young man until. Even 5 years ago, as a young man.
Yeah. No, he's okay.
You should stop calling my senior players young players because my young players nabo wakhe nabo Nhlanhla laba 2023 24.
Let's look at the stats as the coach of course is showing us how they were excited on the day. The stats, I mean, we were more attacking, we were more offensive, we looked very dangerous. There were no complaints. Every player that you wanted maybe is there. We'll touch on that. But look at the shots on target: 7 against 2, deservingly. What's your play? What's your thinking?
Shots on target 7 ku-2. So ngicabanga ukuthi the 3 goals afakazela lokho vele nangabe unama shots on target lamanengi kudinga ukuthi namagoli abonakala and lokhu offsides cishe ke idinvo leto lecudinga ukuthi sitima kakhulu the offside traps sikhona lokubuya siwamake corners ang6 which is good but I still feel like if utawuthola emakhona lang6 they need to start practicing ema-corners kakhulu because ku6 emakhona uyayikwazi ukuthi at least if ushaya 3 amagoli thola 1 goal because against ema teams the North African teams the East African teams la strong utawudzinga lama set pieces including wona lamakhona ukuthi ushaye lamagoli so ngicabanga siloko ukudzinga ukuthi
do we have good headers? I mean ukhona Sikhali,
ukhona Mabeleso, ukhona Sikhali, ukhona Siboniso, uyabona. So if unalabadlali labo sebenzisa le opportunity le ukuthi bazi le advantage le lokuthi but more especially even nama throw balls order uyawathola awafaka ekhasi boxini sebenzisa lokho sakubona Khosafa 2 goals angena through lokho so ngicabanga ukuthi le tinvo leto kumele baqale ba practice it
possession master 62 out of 38
in away game uthole 62 ngicabanga ukuthi it's good and Fabrice ngicela kushonako as much as Junior kadlala ngalendlela emaswati lamgatse ngayo but the style of play kule team uyasibona lokuthi bazama the passing game with the pace ikhona 62 over 38 njoba ngisho ukuthi an away game it's good.
All right, now there's a lot to talk about in this game. They have got a package of 3-0. Now they're coming home. That's an advantage. I mean, we can talk about how the game can change, but you never know in the game of football. They should be in a relaxed mode right now.
Relaxed mode?
I mean, not relaxed per se to say relaxed, but they don't have that pressure. Would see is 3 goal enough to protect?
Fabrice, ibhola ine pressure ibhola
but akufana na one note if bebatawushaya one
Fabrice iPSG kulomnye iminyaka ibe leader 4-0 kuBarcelona iyak second leg leader 4-0 yanga qualify yabona
so ibhola yakuphi leyo must
yase Europe
le yakuphi
ibhola isikhuluma ngebhola thina lephethwe ngeFIFA yabona sikhuluma ngebhola lephethwe ngeFIFA so ngicabanga ukuthi kuthi game la ungakhona uthi ngiyo relax yabona
so they can still lose this
nawutatho naba relax ngalendlela because toqala coach acikise I line up because uthi siya relax u relaxela in you want to make a statement ukuthi Eswatini ishaye iSomalia 8-0 if tawubita ukuthi sibashaye 8-0 asibashaye nakuma rankings zisitawenyuka stats siya kuma group stages batabe bathi ukuthi Eswatini yabona so ngicabanga ukuthi for me nje ufaka leyo mentality leyo guys if unikhonile kumshaya 3 goals ku first leg why not 4 or 5 ku second leg because
right,
closer usekhaya yeah
there's a couple of maybe options in terms of starting lineup the current form of Junior we maybe didn't see much of him yesterday but do you think maybe he gave you what you wanted during the game for him to be maybe called again in the starting lineup in Bombela this Sunday?
He deserves to be in the starting lineup, Fabrice. I think the only problem le ngicabanga ingaba khona because remember ukuthi akashavelanga ne-rally part because abene knock lencane. So ngicabanga ukuthi tonke letinto letimphazamisile and sathina siyobuka le team on Friday wambona abhandishile. So ngicabanga ukuthi lokho ku contributile nyalo ke so ngicabanga ukuthi utawubuya abe fully fit and nalabadlala nabo Somathe bonke tonke letinto leto contribute yes so ngicabanga ukuthi embombela ngeweekend utawukhombisa adlale igame njengoba ngasho ngathi I still want to see that combination yakhe afakela boSkhali those good balls nabo bumanyovu ngisayifisa and we have to see the best of Skali.
Saviola, maybe? Does he deserve a start? He came as a sub, but does he deserve a start? How can it be maneuvered before we go so that he can be in the starting lineup? If you think he deserves to be in the starting lineup.
Unfortunately, you can't play bo number 2 labang, bo number 10 labang 2.
Yes.
Not unless ufuna phula inye iwing ungabadlalisa ke lapho but at the moment uyambona ukuthi coach Dominic ufuna kudlalisa order adlalise Manyovu then Skali then Junior Sfiso namabeleza kanjalo not unless you want to ufuna kuphula inye iwing uyamfaka ke Saviola lo takunika ama goal because nasofake Saviola Skali nakaphuma aba wide utahlala umkhanza Saviola ekhathe boxing because is that number 10 lo hlala funa ukukora ama goal.
I mean now we're playing Somalia not to undermine Somalia but goalkeeper choice as well. What's your take on Sandanezwe as is he your man or do you think maybe so far there's nothing to complain but to you what's your choice?
Ushintshelana nangabe kungakephuka lutho.
Number 1 nani ngibefuna kuva lokho. There you have it, Master Dindatlamin. Keep your eyes closed to the next game because we need your expertise once again, Mr. Dlamini. Hopefully, either in your capacity or in the capacity of anyone, let's hope that you give us the details of the return game that you're going to be watching. Thank you very much, Dlamini.
Ngibonga mina Fabrice ngibona maluya viewers ekhaya.
There you have it. That was our in-house analyst Linda Dlamini giving you what you should know about the game that played midweek. Now, if it's not broken, why fix it? Because the starting lineup that we saw in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania is likely to be again in the second leg come this Sunday, where we might once again see Sihlangu Semnigati getting into the group stages, and maybe we can start thinking that football could be coming home. Temidlalo, Sihlangu Kamnanzi.